to visit the captain of our team, His Excellency, the President of our great country, President Buhari. I had not had the privilege of having a one-on-one with him because obviously of the situation that has affected all of us, the pandemic. And I thought it was important for me to brief him on what and how we're doing in Ogun State. And that we have encapsulated in this book, which I came to present the first copy of it to the President. And the book, here it is. It's 52 weeks, our first 52 weeks in office. It says, 52 weeks of our building a future together. From May 29, 2019 to May 29, 2020. This book encapsulates everything we did in our first 1 year. I shared all that we've done with the President. Like I said, the first copy that rolled off the mint, I wanted to ensure that I gave the President that first copy. We did not have the opportunity to do an elaborate presentation of what we did because of the pandemic, so we decided to reduce everything into print. On the back side of the book, you'll see what we call our pillars, our 4 pillars, encapsulated by the acronym ISHEYA. ISHEYA, I for infrastructure, S for social well-being and welfare, E for education, Y for youth empowerment and job creation, and A for agriculture. That is what ISHEYA. So when we say Omo Ogun, ISHEYA is also an acronym for what we've done. So basically, I took the President through the book. He was quite excited. And he commented the fact that I have a way of reducing what I've done into print, because I believe that it gives and provides for a memorable read, you know. He promised me that he was going to go through it page by page. In our first 100 days in office, we laid the foundation of our ISHEYA program. And I believe that is what has helped us, such that by the time the pandemic came in, we were able to build on that foundation that we had established in our first 100 days. On the I front, which is I for infrastructure, we've done quite a bit. And when you think of the fact that Ogun State is called the Gateway State, it's Gateway State for a reason. And that reason is very simple. We are that state that provides a gateway to Lagos. Lagos is the 5th largest economy on this continent. You cannot go between Lagos and the rest of the country without going through Ogun State. So we are the gateway state to Lagos, we are the gateway state to the rest of the country, between Lagos and the rest of the country. So we see ourselves as what we call that expansion corridor for Lagos. We also see ourselves as a state that facilitates movement between Lagos and the hinterland. Being an expansion corridor for Lagos requires that we provide the right infrastructure to allow people to come between Lagos and our state and to go back. So you find that the people that come to live in Ogun and work in Ogun, the people that come to live in Ogun and work in Lagos. And that calls for us to ensure that we have the right and adequate infrastructure to address that. Because of that, one of the first things we did was we awarded the contract of the Ekpe-Ijebu-Ode Road, which now makes it easier and will make it much easier when completed for people who live in the Lekki axis going to the east. They don't have to go through the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which is being reconstructed right now, but even at that, it would not have the capacity to carry the amount of traffic that would be envisaged, you know, that goes between Lagos, Ibadan, and the north. That road is the most busiest road in this country. So we began by intervening on the Lagos Ijebu-Ode Road, which now would evacuate people coming from the east going to Lagos, or people coming from Lekki, you know, going to the east. And also opens that corridor up for industrial activity, knowing fully well that there's a new Lekki port coming up, there's a Dangote refinery, so that whole corridor now becomes an industrial corridor as well. So these are some of the things that we've done between youth empowerment and job creation, agriculture. We have so many initiatives that we've done. So basically what I came to do was to take Mr. President through these things that we've done in our first 52 weeks. And I'm happy to say that he was very impressed, and he said to me that he will go through this book page by page and thank me for doing that. On another note, I also came to share with the President some of the pains that we're going through and are going through in Ogun State. Our biggest industrial hub in this country is the Agbara Industrial Estate. There's a road that goes from Agbara to Lusada to Atan. That road is a road that leads to this Agbara estate. That road is in such deplorable state that trailers that are coming from the port, taking goods that need to be processed and finished to this industrial estate, trailers that are taking finished goods from that industrial estate to the rest of the country or back for export, continue to have accidents, and delays to the point where some of the multinationals are threatening to actually leave the country and go to another country. So I came with a letter advising and requesting Mr. President to note that because our people do not understand the difference between a federal road and a state road, this road has continued to become an embarrassment, not just to us in Ogun State, but the entire country. This place is important to us for the economic survival of our state and the country at large. We have decided to intervene in this road ourselves as a state. I wanted Mr. President to know that we are going to have to construct that road at our expense, and I wanted him to inform the Federal Ministry of Works that we will be doing so, and we will also be making demands on them for a full refund of the construction of that road. So that I shared with him. I also shared with him the pains of the Lagos Otabe-Okuta road as well. I came with a letter that I had written sometime earlier on and pictures to show the deplorable state of these roads. These are roads. Lagos Otabe-Okuta road is probably the second busiest road in this country. These roads are in such deplorable condition. And we understand that the federal government cannot afford to build all the roads at the same time. But as a state government, Lagos State government and I have written to Mr. President, asked Mr. President to transfer that road to us. It's a commercial road, and we will commercialize it so that we can take that burden off the federal government. And I'm glad to say that Mr. President was very pleased with these discussions and these applications, and he's promised to see what he will do to give us the necessary support so that, this can also help us in the economic upliftment of our region. So this is why I came to see Mr. President. I want to thank you very much for this opportunity. I hope to see you again when I come. I will leave a copy of this big book for you. I'll leave it to your chairman.